Right, hello everyone. Here we are, hole number, what is it, 6, for another revision. We're probably going to play it pretty similar. Now, I have no problem with guys going over to the left here. I think it's going to safely get you home in 2. If you watch my other guide, some guy had Thor's Hammer 7, Cataclysm 7. You're able to easily get up there in 2. It's a very safe way to play because you don't really have to worry about rolling through too much. If you play it somewhat conservative, it's a very safe way to play it. So, it is kind of a really nice way to do it. And I actually ended up trying to go over to the right here and then kind of got screwed on my approach and ended up with a mistake. So this is just a little bit riskier going over this way, but it is something that can be very dialed in. So that's one of the main reasons that I like it. So here you'll see, first off, the wind is down. We're going to try to go just a shade under 5 on the backspin. You can see with where I'm trying to aim. We are going to do kind of an overcorrection here and make sure that I'm not pulling rings down this way. I want to make sure that I'm kind of over pulling down is kind of the biggest key here. And that's about 8 rings. It's a little bit of an overplay, and then you can see with how much I'm curling. What this should do is it should, keep me safe from running out too far, and it should, check up here, and then I should, the goal here was to be able to get this close enough, and with the Berserker ball, keep it to where I can still see the top of the rough here. It looks like I might just be a shade short. So you do got to stay somewhat aggressive with the way that you go about this play. Because you can see it looks like I'm going to be just a hair short. I'm not going to do that same bump here, but I do recommend doing that bump. I wanted to go ahead this time and actually play the fairway shot just so you could see how much safer of an approach this is. However, I don't think the other shot is really that risky. So the other one from my other guide, especially if you have accurate clubs. So if you can do it with, for example, a Hammerhead 7 or 8 or, a Guardian bump, since it has high accuracy, your great balls aren't going to cost you very much. And it's going to be something that you can get dialed in rather simply with just some revisions. And it looks like I mentioned I wasn't going to do the bump, but man, this is like setting up really nice. And as you can see, as I mentioned, right around 2 topspin, you can see we can even do the bump with the Guardian. And you'll see that I'm essentially, if I was setting up for this, we can set up just like this. And then we're going to do the rings. And typically I'm thinking somewhere in the neighborhood of right around a little bit more than, right around 10.5 rings. So I'm going to go 10.5 rings. And you can see that I kind of offset my ball guide to the right intentionally. It's because the wind effect is going to kind of carry this one over towards the hole a little bit more. And you can see if I did do the 2 topspin, basically just put it on 2 topspin. You can see it ended up stopping because I only used 1.5. I was using the guide. Don't use the guide, just do the 2. And you can see it was shooting right towards the hole. About 10.5 rings there was basically perfect. You got to keep in mind your Guardian is, what's the word? 1.2 per ring. And your sniper, I got to get off this bag since I have a 9, because I don't think this one had a 9. I was just going to input this ring adjustment here so you could see it. Here it is. So here's a Guardian 8, power 5. What was that, 11.4? So, max says 10.7. I came in just a touch because I was kind of pulling back. So something along the lines of this is where I went, 10.5-ish rings. And you can see it's very spot on for a ring adjustment here. We virtually have a side wind, more or less, with just a little bit of tail. But this adjustment gets you right in the ballpark of what you would need to go for the ring adjustment. So you could use the ring app if you'd like. But, I was kind of just doing it by feel, just from knowledge, game knowledge more so than anything. But you can see, the ring adjustment there is relatively spot on. The only thing I really had to worry about was ball guide deflection. So you can see that I actually kept that ball guide to the right intentionally. The thing I didn't do is I didn't keep the ball guide at 2. I kind of pulled back, and I should have kept it at that 2. Because, you almost have to have that ball guide running a little bit through, and then it does kind of collapse down, partially because you're kind of pulling down into lower in the sand. So it's just kind of short landing, as opposed to landing up where the target is. It's landing like a ring short. So that's why you got to keep that ball guide through the hole, because when it lands a ring short, it doesn't roll out. So that's why you see it coming up short. So keep all that in mind. Nevertheless, if you just feel like kind of, playing it safe and just take that Guardian, and you can basically just set up to purposefully land on the fairway with your 9 backspin and just like do like a half curl to the right just to kind of counter that wind, and you could safely play the shot as like a bailout. But you're only going to get eagle doing that. So that's kind of the downside to just playing it safe. So keep all that in mind. Good luck, and I'll see you on the next one.